So you're able to see my screen now.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
So listen, x is equal to 1 by 2 pi into f into c. So for DC source, what is the frequency? So for a DC, what is the frequency? It is 0. Because DC does not oscillate, it doesn't have cycles, right? So when I substitute 0 here, what will happen to XC?
Not be 1 by infinity.
So 1 by 0, so it will become infinity. So what is the meaning of this? It blocks DC.
Sir, again the fake ID came,
Just
sir.
1 minute. Okay, that is green one. Now listen. So it blocks DC through it. Are you guys able to understand? So F is equal to 0 means it is going to happen like this. So you can have a doubt, but we studied about capacitor in the second chapter, right? So in the second chapter, when we connected the capacitor, did we connect a DC source or an AC source? You always connected a DC source. Let's say you connected a 5-volt battery, you will
Sir, even
so
after you put the fake ID in waiting room, it can rejoin, sir.
that is the idea, no? That green one only, no?
Ah, yes, sir. But when it comes
Okay,
again, we
no,
remove it from waiting, sir.
I'll remove it, but the problem is I just want to confirm if that is the fake ID.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay.
So is it the yellow one or the green one? This is a green one, right?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you can lock the meeting, sir.
Yeah, I will lock it, but suddenly it is coming. Somebody left. I think they had network issue. Okay. Let's see if it comes again. Let's see. Concentrate here. So in the second chapter, what we were doing is we had a capacitor. There we connected the DC source only. But that time we didn't discuss about this concept. It has come. 1 minute. Darshini, speak once.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now listen.
So the screen sharing has stopped, sir.
Yeah, it has come. Is it clear now? Are you able to see the screen?
Yeah, it's come back.
Yes, sir.
Right. So here I mentioned an important point saying it blocks the DC through it. But in the second chapter, the complete point that we learned is only about DC. What is the difference there? Then why did we discuss the point there itself?
Sir, there it was static charges.
Okay. Here. So when we studied the same capacitor in the second chapter, what is it we were mainly concentrating on? We only see there had never been a question. So in the second chapter, you go and revisit. In the second chapter, if you go and revisit, you will understand that there is not even one question saying that what is the amount of current that is flowing through the capacitor. Okay, they would have asked us to calculate only the charge that is getting stored, right? So why didn't they ask? Because the capacitor is not RC to flow through it, and the reason for that is given in this chapter. Okay, so where it is used, for example, if I have like this, a resistor like this, and a capacitor like this. Okay, if I give you a question like this, so generally this is not asked for CBSE, but sometimes they do ask. If at all they want to make the paper tough, they can ask you. So if suppose they give you a circuit like this, which is connected across a DC source, let's say it's a 5-volt battery, there's 2 ohm resistor, there's 1 ohm resistor, and there's 1 microfarad capacitor. Now, if they ask you the question stating that, what is the equivalent resistance of the circuit, what will happen? So how are you going to solve this? So based on this particular, how will you apply?
The current flowing through the capacitor is 0.
So current flowing through the capacitor is 0 means current through which device will be 0? Only when it is in the open circuit condition, means this will be invalid, right? So this circuit is similar to a 2 ohm resistor and a 1 ohm resistor connected in what?
Series.
Connected. So this is the same thing. So there is like a 2 ohm and a 1 ohm that are connected in series. It will break. It will be 3 ohm, 5 volt. So you get the current through the C is equal to V divided by R. Whatever is the answer, that is what. Are you guys able to understand this? So you have to make this as an open circuit. You have to make this as an open circuit and then solve the problem. Means you have to remove the capacitor from that problem. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is a very, very important point. I hope you all made a note of it. Okay. Now we will see what will happen when AC is connected across, or the third device that is left out, an inductor. Okay. So you have an inductor which is connected across an AC source like this. Now our work is to calculate the amount of current that is flowing through this. How do I calculate? Let's say the inductance is L. See, whether you write it as inductance or self-inductance, the formula is capital N. So EMF is E naught sine omega t. Right? That is a formula. We know that. EMF is equal to E naught sine omega t. Then how do we calculate the amount of current that is flowing through the circuit? See, if you recollect the concept of self-inductance from the previous chapter, okay, can someone explain me what is the principle of how does the self-inductance work? I'll give you the step here. You answer those parts alone. Now, when the key is open, what will happen? At t is equal to 0, when the key is open, what is the current in the circuit?
0.
Obviously, a 0. So current is 0. Wait, I forgot to connect the battery. Wait. Okay. So I is equal to 0. This is clear. As soon as the switch is closed, what will happen? Let's say at 1 second, I explained you, I is equal to 1 milliampere, something like that. Something. I'm just randomly writing some values. Okay. So this will go on till the value of current, let's say it is reaching 1 ampere. Okay. Let's say this is the procedure that is happening. Let's say this is happening after t is equal to 10 seconds. So what is happening to the current beyond between 0 to 10 seconds?
Increasing.
There is a growth of current that is taking place. Am I right? So there is a growth. Similarly, if you open the battery, what will happen? There will be decay of current. So growth and decay process takes place. And here, what is the source you have connected? when we discussed this concept in the case of electromagnetic induction. We connected a DC source. Here, what are you connecting? You are connecting an AC source, right? So for an AC source, what happens? Two things happen. One is its magnitude is going to increase and decrease with respect to time, and its polarity will also change. Means during the first half of the cycle, if this end is positive and this end is negative, during the second half, this end will be negative and this end will be positive. That is the meaning of polarity getting changed. Are you guys able to understand?
Yes, sir.
So when this is happening, what happened in this case? So recollect, Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction told us, what did Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction tell?
Change in flux will induce
Rate
the
of change
EMF
of
is
flux
induced when
induces
there's a change
electric
in
field.
magnetic.
Yeah. So change in flux changes the magnetic field. So here, if you try to draw it in a block diagram format, what is happening? First is current is changing. I'm not talking about increasing or decreasing. For our example, when you close the key, current is increasing. Current is changing. The
Magnetic flux.
magnetic field is changing. Magnetic field due to whom? Magnetic field due to the coil itself is changing.
Coil.
Due to the magnetic field changing, magnetic flux is changing. So due to the magnetic flux changing, what is happening?
EMF is induced.
EMF is induced.
And EMF is induced. And what is the name of that EMF?
More
Self-induced EMF.
If it is called as self-induced EMF, I told you there is another name also.
Back EMF.
Back EMF.
Very good. Or it is also called as back EMF. So what is the value of back EMF that gets induced? E is equal to minus L into
Minus L
di by
by
dt.
di by dt.
Do you guys remember this? So E is equal to minus L into di divided by dt. So in this case, what will happen is the E is E naught sine omega t will be equal to minus L into di divided by dt. So because of this fluctuating nature, this L into di by dt is getting generated. Are you guys able to understand? So di will be equal to E naught divided by L into sine omega t with a negative sign. Okay. So if you have a doubt of how I wrote this, observe what I did is, I'm erasing this step, observe, forget this step. I'll explain it in a different context. Okay. So if there is a resistor that is present in the device, okay, if there is a resistive device present, then when you apply Ohm's law, what can you say? V will be equal to I into R, provided the temperature is constant, right? So V is the total current present across the circuit. Is that clear? So here, if you observe this AC source, one of the EMF that is present is E naught sine omega t. But due to the changing magnetic flux, there is a back EMF that is getting generated across the inductor of a value of minus L into di by dt. Are you guys able to understand? So there are two EMFs in the circuit. What is it? E naught sine omega t and minus L into di by divided by dt, right? So can I write it as instantaneous EMF, that is E naught sine omega t plus the back EMF, but that is minus L into di by dt is equal to I into what is the resistance present in the circuit? Is there a resistor present in the circuit? Is this a resistive circuit or a purely inductive circuit?
inductive.
It is purely inductive. There is no resistor present. Only if resistor is present, there will be resistance. So I into the value of resistance of the circuit is 0. So did you guys understand what I did? I wrote that total EMF is equal to current multiplied with resistance. Okay. So if I write it like this, then E naught sine omega t will be equal to L into dt. Is that clear? So previously I wrote minus L. No, I'm sorry, that is wrong. So this is right. E naught sine omega t is equal to L into di divided by dt. Are you able to understand this? Right. So di will be equal to E naught divided by L into sine omega dt. Okay. So when you integrate on both the sides, I will be equal to E naught divided by L into integral of sine omega t is minus cos omega t, right? Minus cos omega t. That's it. What else should I write?
By omega.
By omega, by the coefficient of t, and you leave it. Okay. So this will be equal to minus E naught divided by omega L into cos omega t. Are you guys able to understand? So if the input is in terms of sine, you need to write the output also in terms of sine for us to have a clear analysis. So how can I write cos in terms of sine? Now observe, I can write cos omega t as sine of pi by 2 minus omega t or sine of pi by 2 plus omega t. But what is present here? It is not only cos omega t that is present, it is minus cos omega t that is present. So when I put a minus sign here, now out of these two, which one should I choose?
Second one, sir.
Why second one?
Because it is in the second quadrant, sir, so that it
No,
becomes
it's
cos.
not because it's the second quadrant. One point to be kept in mind is omega t should be positive. If the input is positive, omega t also should be positive. If that should happen, you know this principle, you know this concept, right? Minus sine theta is nothing but sine of minus theta. I'm just writing it in the reverse. Sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. I wrote it in reverse. So minus sine theta means if I push the minus sign inside, what will happen is it will become sine of pi by 2. Sorry, sine of first one will have what will happen to it? Sine of minus pi by 2 plus omega t, and the second one will become
Sine of minus pi by 2
minus omega t. Now tell me which one should I choose?
First one.
Now you need
First.
to choose the first one because omega t is positive. Okay. So what you will write is I is, see, these are all the steps that is for your understanding. While you're deriving it in the exam, after this minus cos omega t, you can directly start writing this step. Nobody will ask you why it is so. It is for you to have a clarity I'm explaining. Okay. So E naught divided by omega L into sine of omega t minus pi by 2. Is that clear? So E naught divided by, what can you call this omega L as? This omega L is what is called as X with a suffix L, which is called as inductive reactance. And what is the value of inductive reactance? It is written as omega into L. Are you guys able to understand this? It's a very, very important concept. So inductive
Not
reactance.
1 by omega L.
No. See, observe. Here what happened? It was 1 by omega c in the denominator.
Oh, okay. Whatever is in the denominator.
Whatever is in the denominator, you should write it. Because current is inversely proportional to that value, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So inductive reactance, it is omega into L. Is it clear? Now, XL will be equal to omega L, but omega can be written as 2 pi into F into L. Is it right? So how is XL and F related? If I take frequency on the XL, they are directly proportional. So you will get a straight line which should actually pass through the origin. There's nothing but of the format y is equal to m into x. So XL is y is equal to m into x. What is the value of m present here? 2 pi into L.
2 pi f.
2 pi L into x. Is that clear? So this is also an important graph. So what they will ask is, they will give you the graph and they'll ask you, this belongs to which device? So all the questions in this chapter will be in the reverse. They will not directly ask you, draw the graph between XL and F for an inductive circuit. They'll give you the graph and ask which device, what is the device across which AC is connected. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Here, you finished copying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's see some problems which are based on this particular part. Okay. So here I've given you all the formulae. So I'll be sharing this worksheet with you guys. There are 18 problems. Again, each problem you can solve it in 2 minutes. So I'll be sharing this assignment, try to complete it. So for an AC circuit conducting inductor only, it is 2 pi into F into L, right? So the current is E0 divided by omega L. If you want to find the effective current IRMS, then you will find ERMS divided by X into L. That is ERMS by omega into L. So E0 divided by root 2, because ERMS is nothing but E0 divided by root 2. Okay. So this is one set of formulae. Similar is the case for a capacitor also. Xc is equal to 1 by omega C. Current amplitude is nothing but E0 divided by Xc. That is E0 divided by 1 by omega C, because Xc is 1 by omega C. And the effective current, effective is RMS current, will be ERMS divided by Xc and all these values. Okay. Now, let's try to solve the first question. There is a 100 Hertz AC that is flowing in a 14 millihenry coil. Find its reactance. So what is given? Frequency is given 100 Hertz. And inductance is given as 14 millihenry. So 14 into 10 power minus 3 Henry. Find its reactance. So what is the reactance? XL is equal to 2 pi into F into L. If F is given, write it as 2 pi into F into L. If omega is given, write omega into L. So 2 pi is 6.28 into F is 100 into L is 14 into 10 power minus 3. So 14 into 6 into manipulate the equation, you solve this equation, you will get the answer. So remember one thing, reactance is also measured in terms of ohm, because it is also like a resistance offered by that particular device. But we use the term resistance only for a purely resistive circuit. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the first one. Second, a pure inductor of 25 millihenry is connected to a source of 220 volt. Find the inductive reactance and RMS current in the circuit if the frequency of the source is 50 Hertz. So there is a pure inductor of how much value? 25 millihenry that is connected across a source of 220 volt. So this 220, is it DC or AC? Have they given you the RMS value or the peak value?
RMS value.
RMS.
So ERMS is 220 volt. Find the inductive reactance. Inductive reactance is XL, that is equal to 2 pi into F into L. Given is frequency, that is 50 Hertz. So you have all the data in your hand. Your work is to substitute and multiply. Okay, those many ohm is the answer. Now they're asking you the RMS current also. What is the formula?
ERMS by
RMS
XL.
by X into L. So ERMS is 220 divided by XL. You will calculate it from here. Those many ampere. Okay. So had they asked you the peak value, I0 was asked. Had they asked you, then what should you write? I0 will be
root 2
root 2 times say ERMS.
By
So that will be approximately 314 something, right? So root 2 divided by, sir, had asked the peak value of the current. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are all direct formula based only. I'm moving on to the next one. Next. Find the maximum value of current when an inductance of 1 Henry is connected across an AC source of 200 volt and 50 Hertz. So here what is given again?
ERMS.
Inductance.
RMS.
ERMS.
RMS is given as 200, F is given as 50 Hertz, and inductance is given as 1 Henry. Now they are asking the maximum value of current. So I0 will be equal to root 2 times ERMS, the whole divided by L. So that is how much? Sorry, not L, XL.
Sir.
So root 2 into 200 divided by, here it is not 314, okay? Be careful with that, because 1.4 into 2, you get it around 280 something. By XL is 2 pi into F into L. So when you calculate this value, you will approximately get the answer. So those many ampere. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's see. See, this exercise is very simple actually. A coil has an inductance of 1 Henry. At what frequency will it have a reactance of 3142 ohm? Okay. So L is given as 1 Henry. The value of reactance is given as 3142 ohm. They're asking this is going to happen at what frequency? So XL will be equal to omega into L. You can either report the answer in terms of radian per second, or you can report it in terms of hertz also. For both, you will get marks. This will be equal to 2 pi into F into C. If you observe, this 3142 is a multiple of 3.1. Right, approximately it will be 1000, right? So XL is 3142 is equal to 2 into pi is, you can take it as 3.142 into F is 1 into L, right? Into 1. 2 pi into F
It
into
should
1.
be
F into 1. So this will be 1000. This will be 500. So F will be equal to 500. So it is 500 hertz. What should be the capacity of the capacitor which has the same reactance at that frequency? So XC is equal to 3142 ohm. Frequency is how much? 500 hertz.
500
Only if you solve this problem, you can do this. So XC is equal to 1 by 2 pi into F into C. They're asking what is the capacity of it. So C will be equal to 1 divided by 2 pi F into XC. So that will be 1 by 2 pi into F is 500 into XC is how much?
3142.
3142. See, this 2 into 500 will give you 1000. 1000 into 3.14 is 3142. So it will be 1 divided by 3142 the whole square. Those many farad.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this part you guys can do it. We'll do 2 more problems. Then we will go to the next part. Okay. Next. There is an AC circuit which consists of only an inductor of inductance 2 Henry. So inductor of inductance 2 Henry. If the current is represented by the sine wave of amplitude, so I naught is equal to 0.25 ampere and the frequency of 60 hertz, calculate the effective potential difference. Means they're asking the RMS value across the inductor. So how to calculate it? I naught is equal to E naught divided by X into L. Right? So which implies 0.25 is equal to E naught, can I write it as root 2 into V effective according to the question, divided by X into L. X is how much? Or XL is 2 pi into frequency 60 hertz and L is 2 Henry. So V effective will be equal to how much? 0.25 into 2 pi into 60 into 2 the whole divided by 2. So these many volts will give you the answer. Actually, this problem is only multiplication based. It will be root 2. So pi, they have asked us to take it as 3.14. So multiply everything, we'll get the answer. So 2 into 0.25, 0.5. 0.5 is half. Half into pi into 60 into root 2. So this will be 30. So the 30 into 3.14 into 1.414. So multiply this, these many volts will give you the answer. Okay, copy it. Done?
Done,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
We'll do one last problem. This one. An alternating EMF given by the equation E is equal to 220 sine of 100 pi into T. Okay. 100 pi into T is applied to a circuit containing an inductance of value 1 by pi Henry. Write an equation for the instantaneous current through the circuit. So I is equal to what? I is equal to
E by X.
IE.
E naught divided by XL into sine of. So what kind of a
Omega.
circuit is it? It conducts an inductance. So for a pure inductive circuit, it will be sine of omega t
Omega T minus pi by 2.
minus 1. So your answer will be in terms of cos. So what are all the known parameters to us? E naught is known. E naught is 220 divided by XL. Will you be able to find it? What is the value of XL that is given? So 100 pi is nothing but omega. So XL is nothing but omega into L into sine of omega into T. There's any doubt, let me know. Minus pi by 2. So 220 divided by, what is the value of omega?
100 pi.
100 pi.
100 pi into 1 by pi.
Into 1 by pi. Sine of 100 pi into T minus pi by 2. So pi and pi will get cancelled. 1 0 is gone. It will be 2.2 into sine of 100 pi into T minus pi by 2. Okay. So what will be the reading of the ammeter? What will be the reading of the AC ammeter when it is connected in the circuit? So how much will it be? It will be 2.2 divided by root 2. So calculate that value. You can use calculator.
Correct, sir. 1.55.
That's the answer.
Sir, how did the root 2 came sudden?
RMS value. No?
Okay, sir.
So an important point to be noted, an AC ammeter will read what? It will read the RMS value. So don't write it as 2.2. It will not measure the peak value. It will measure only the RMS value. How much is it? Is it coming as 1.55?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. 1.556.
Okay. So can you guys try the next one? With that, we'll go to the next topic. So an inductor of inductance 200 millihenry is connected to an AC source of peak EMF 210 volt. So inductor is 200 into 10 power minus 3 Henry. The peak value is 210 volt. The frequency is 50 hertz. Calculate the peak current. Peak current is easy. I naught is equal to E naught divided by XL. So E naught is 210 divided by XL is 2 pi F into L. So these many amperes will be the value. Now the next part is important. What is the instantaneous voltage of the source when the current is at its peak? When the current is at peak, what will happen to the source? So look at the expression. No? I is equal to, okay, I'll draw the graph again. Oh, I didn't draw the graph for this, sir. I'm really sorry. So can you guys make a note of this? Tell me how to draw the phasor diagram. So X and Y. Okay. So EMF is like this. Is making an angle of omega t. So E naught sine of omega t. Now what about I? I is equal to I naught sine of
Omega t
Omega t
minus pi
minus
by 2.
by 2.
Minus pi by 2.
omega t minus pi by 2. Means to omega t, how much should you add? Means to value of omega t, how much should you
Minus
add?
5 by 2.
Minus pi by 2.
Minus pi by 2 means clockwise rotation. So with respect to the initial point, if you rotate it clockwise, to the existing omega t, if you add pi by 2 in this direction, then, okay, if this is pi by 2, try to understand. I'm repeating it again, listen, this whole angle is pi by 2, then how much will this angle be?
Omega t minus.
Omega t.
If omega t minus pi.
Minus pi.
Okay. So you might have got a doubt, why is it not pi by 2 minus omega t? Right, in terms of magnitude, see, logically tell me when you have something like this, if I draw a line, if this is theta, if I tell you this is 90 degrees, how much will you tell me this is?
90 minus theta.
90 minus
90 minus,
theta.
but I wrote it as theta minus 90. Why? I didn't write it as 90 minus theta. I wrote pi
Because it is taken in clockwise direction. with
Clockwise
respect to
direction, sir.
Yes, sir.
because of the direction. Okay, so have this in your mind. So what would have actually happened is, in terms of magnitude, it is pi by 2 minus omega. It is minus omega with the minus sign. This and this are the same. Is that clear? So this is what happens. Now let's see how to draw the graph. So when you're trying to draw the graph in this chapter, the EMF and current should be in the same graph for us to differentiate, for us to understand what exactly is happening between them. So EMF is always going to be E naught sine omega t. If I make one cycle, if it is like this. Okay. What will happen to I naught sine omega t minus pi by 2? So where will it be 0 for the first time?
Pi by 2.
At pi by
At
2.
pi by 2. Means the graph will start from here. But it's still the same sine function. So if you observe, it starts like this. So the red color one represents I naught sine of omega t minus pi by 2, and the black represents. Okay, are these 2 points clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is how the graph will look like. Now what is the question based on? Now try to read the question. What are they asking? What is the instantaneous voltage of the source when the current is at its peak? When the current is at its peak, what is the value of instantaneous voltage? So which one is voltage, black or red?
Black.
Black. So when the red is at peak, where is the black value?
Pi.
Pi by.
What is the magnitude? It's 0, no? They're asking what is the value. Please understand. What is the instantaneous voltage of the source when the current is at its peak? The current will be at its peak at different angles. See, here also it is at peak only. If you observe the starting point, it is at peak only, but it is in the negative direction. That's it. If you try to find out what this value is, it's still going to have magnitude of I naught. And this magnitude is E naught. Are you guys able to understand? So when the current is at its peak, the voltage will be 0. They're asking the value. They didn't ask, where will this happen? When this is happening, what will be their values? That's what they're asking. Okay. So how you will write the answer is, since the phase difference between the current and the voltage is pi by 2, the value will be 0. That's it. It is understood. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the remaining problems you try, have any doubt, you can let me know. The problems are based on, so it has capacitive reactance, but the concept is the same. Nothing else. You need to be careful. Only 2 or 3 formulae. That's it. Is read the chemistry. So I think you guys are tough. 16 problems are there. We have already completed 7. Only 8 more problems. Do it, okay? I'm moving on to the next concept. 1 minute. Let me see. Okay. So the next concept that we are going to discuss is, I will explain about a series RL circuit that is actually not there in the syllabus.
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir.
Your
voice breaking.
Yes, sir.
Explain. Okay. So write down the heading as series LR circuit. So this is not there in the CBSE part, but I may explain. There is a concept as series LCR circuit, which is very, very important. Okay. For you to understand this, you need to understand from the LR circuit. That is why I'm explaining. So please make a note of it. Okay. So what do you mean by series RL circuit? You have a resistor and an inductor connected in series across an AC source of EMF E naught sine omega t. The resistance here is R and here it is L. Okay. So I hope this diagram is clear.
Yes, sir.
So just give me a minute. When I say, what comes to your mind? What is common in series connection?
Current.
Resistor.
It is
Current
the
is the
current.
same.
Current, right? So if the current through this device is I, the current through this device will also be I. So have this in your mind. Okay. And important points to be known are, now tell me one thing. For a purely resistive, current, sorry, this direction, what will be the direction of current? Now recollect, in a purely resistive circuit, what is the phase difference between the current and the voltage?
Zero.
It is 0. Means if the voltage is along x-axis, current will also be along x-axis.
X-axis.
Okay. A pure circuit, what is the phase difference? Phi is equal to pi by 2. Means if the voltage is like this, how will the current be? Will the current lead the voltage or lag the voltage?
Lead the voltage.
It will lead the voltage. No? Sorry, IC. So Similarly, for an inductive circuit, purely inductive circuit, if the voltage is like this, then what will be the direction of current?
Lag by pi by 2.
It will lag by pi by 2. Just now we saw. Right? I hope there is no doubt in this. Minus pi by 2. I hope this is clear, right? Now see how I'm going to state it is, for resistive circuit, I don't have any headache. Because in resistive circuit, I'm going to say voltage and current are going to be in phase. Okay. Whereas for a capacitive circuit, what am I going to say? I'm going to state it like this. Tell me whether it is right. Current leads voltage by pi by 2, or voltage lags current by pi by 2. Can I state it like this?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
This
sir.
for a capacitive circuit. Right. Whereas for an inductive circuit, what can I say? Current lags the voltage by
Pi by 2.
Pi by 2.
Pi by
or
2.
or
Voltage
Voltage
leads
Voltage
leads by
leads
pi by
by
2.
current by pi by 2.
pi by 2.
by pi by 2. So have these 2 points in your mind, okay? So put it in your mind very strong, because if you don't understand this, whatever diagram I'm going to draw now will confuse you. So just take a minute time, just absorb this concept, take it in your mind. Let me know once you're ready. Done?
1 minute, sir.
Yeah.
Done, sir.
Okay. So listen, I'm going to redraw the circuit. I want everybody to make a note of it. You'll feel as if you have understood, but you're confused. What is the heading? Is it a series LR or parallel LR? There is only
Series.
Series.
In series,
Series.
you people told me that current is going to be the same, right? So if I take the current, if I take the resistance here as R and the inductance here as L, now I'm going to draw the phasor diagram where I use the output as a reference, and I'm going to draw the phasor diagram for the input. Means, observe, if I say that the current is in this direction, I'm going to do the reverse. If the current is in this direction, what will be the direction of voltage across a resistor?
Same
It
thing.
will,
The same.
Same direction.
so can I write it as VR? Okay. So initially I'm writing it as IR, concentrate. The current across the resistor is IR and the voltage across the resistor is VR. Now you understood why they are parallel to each other, because only one reason, the phase difference is going to be
0.
0.
Okay. Now what happens across an inductor? The voltage lags the current by pi by 2. Means if the current across the inductor is IL, then voltage will lag by pi by 2. Means the voltage will be in the downward direction. Sorry, voltage leads. No, I'm sorry. Voltage leads the current by.
Pi by 2.
So this is VR. Are these 2 points clear? Right.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is a very, very important point to be kept in mind. Now I'm going to do a small change. Observe, I will not write the current as IR and IL because the current through both the devices is going to be the same. Only because they are connected in series. Is that clear? So if I try to draw a phasor diagram of an series LR circuit, if I take VR to be like this, Okay. So observe with respect to I, what is the angle between these two? 0 degrees.
Zero
What is the
degrees.
angle between these? 90 degrees.
Pi by 2.
Then what will be the angle between VR and VL?
5/2.
Pi by 2.
5/2.
But which one will be leading?
VL.
VL.
VL will be leading. So VL will come here and it will be like this. So VR, if it is making an angle of omega t, am I right? If VR is making an angle of omega t, then VL will make an angle of how much value? Omega t plus pi by 2.
Plus pi by 2.
Did you guys understand what is the difference between the other phasor diagrams and this one? The other phasor diagrams, what we do is we draw the graph between the input voltage, the input, that is the voltage, and the current. Whereas in the series LR circuit, we are drawing it across the voltages. Now what will happen is VR is going to be like this, VL is going to be like this, and VR is given by the formula I into R according to Ohm's law. And VL is given by the formula I into, observe, it is XL. Okay, I into XL. Are you guys able to understand?
Yes, sir.
So, if VR is like this and VL is like this, where the angle between both is 90 degrees, then the equivalent resistance, equivalent EMF of this and this can be found using the parallelogram law of vectors. So, what does the parallelogram law state? R is equal to root of A square plus B square plus
AB cos theta.
cos theta. Okay. Instead of equivalent vector, I am writing it as E. E is equal to root of, what is A? It is VR. VR square plus B is VL square plus 2 into VR into VL into cos of how much is angle between them?
5/2.
Pi by 2.
Five.
So this is going to be 0. So it will be root of VR square plus VL square. This is what is called as the effective resistance. What is effective resistance according to us? It is the RMS value. So when you have a series RL circuit connected, and if you want to calculate the RMS value of it, the RMS value is given as what? Generally, what we think, we have to add the potential across this and this. You should not add the potential. You should add their squares and take the square root of it.
Sir, it's effective EMF, no, sir.
It is effective EMF. Effective EMF is also called as RMS, no?
No, sir, you said effective resistance.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is effective EMF. So ERMS will be equal to, now root of, what is VR right that I told? It is IR. So IR square plus I into XL square. So what will come out? I into root of R square plus XL square. Are you guys able to understand this? This is ERMS. Right. So I will be equal to ERMS divided by root of R square plus XL square. Remember, this is also IRMS. This is what? IRMS. That's why I told you RMS value is very important in this chapter. Is it clear till this step? I just rearranged the equation. Nothing else I did.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this current is inversely proportional only to a resistive parameter. This resistive parameter, which is inversely proportional to current, is called by the name impedance. And it is given by the symbol Z, which is equal to root of R square plus XL square. So there are three terms that you learned in this chapter with respect to opposition. What is it? One is resistance, second is reactance, and the third is impedance. Okay, you should have a clarity of when to use which term. You use the word resistance when? Only when R is present. Only for purely what circuit? Resistive circuit. Okay. You use the word reactance. Reactance is given by the symbol X. If you put C as suffix, it is capacitive. If you put L as suffix, it is inductive. Okay. So reactance is used for
Purely inductive.
or inductor and impedance is represented by the symbol Z. When do you use impedance? Impedance is used when you have a combination of what?
Pure
Resistor,
and
Resistor and the
inductor.
Resistor and inductor, or
Resistor and capacitor.
resistor and capacitor, or resistor and inductor plus capacitor. Okay. So for you to define the term impedance, what is important in the circuit? Resistor is important. Means a resistive device plus a reactive device put together is what is called as an impedance. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is a very, very important term. See, if anybody is willing to take electrical engineering next year, this particular topic is very, very important. Done?
One minute, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, done.
Done. Listen. So one last point to be explained in this is, we drew like this, no? We drew VR like this. And VL like this. I told this is the ERMS. Right. So, if you observe what is the angle made by the resultant with the resistor device, if I call this as phi, okay, what is phi? Phi is the angle between whom?
Resultant and
RM
Effective value
Effective value and
VR.
VRF.
and voltage across resistor. Voltage across resistor. Then tan phi is given by the expression VL divided by VR. Okay, but what is the value of VL? VL is I into XL divided by I into R. I and I will get cancelled. Be XL divided by Is this clear? So tan phi is given by the expression XL divided by R. So if tan phi is like this, if I'm taking a right angle triangle, if this is phi, what is tan phi? Opposite divided by
Adjacent.
Yeah, correct one. Opposite divided by adjacent. So root of this will be R square plus XL square. Now what is cos phi from this triangle?
R by
R by root of X.
Root of X.
R square plus XL square. So R divided by, what is this root of R square plus XL?
Z.
ERM. Impedance.
R divided by Z is what is called as cos phi, and this has a special name in this chapter called as the power factor. So if you look at the deleted portion for this year, they would have removed a term called as wattless current. That wattless current has something to do with this term power factor. But anyways, I can't skip that topic. Okay, it's not a very big topic, just 10 minutes discussion. Okay, so have this term power factor in your mind. So cos phi is equal to R divided by Z, and this triangle is what is called as an impedance triangle. Is it clear? So formula for power factor is fixed. Resistance divided by the impedance of that circuit. Is this clear, guys?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
This is a very, very
Yes,
important
sir.
formula. This is a very, very important. It's even more important. Okay. So this is all about a series RL circuit. Next class, I will explain you about a series RC circuit, and then we will discuss about LCR circuit. So maximum 2 more classes, this chapter will be over. Okay. So I want you all to practice. See, as I told you, though this topic is not there in the syllabus, I suggest you to practice the problems. I'll share an assignment based on this also. You guys try. You can try it tomorrow. So I'm giving you 2 assignments. Try to understand. The assignment which I'm going to share as a work of today is assignment number 2. Okay. So assignment number 2 is based on what? It is based on inductive and capacitive what? It's only based on inductive and capacitive reactance. So I will be uploading the other assignment also today, but the target for you to solve that is you guys sit and do it tomorrow. It's not like you sit and do the whole assignment. At least 7 to 8 problems. First 7 to 8 problems is enough. Okay. In that, if you have a doubt, you let me know. See, this chapter, there is no other option. You have to practice. You have to practice the problems for you to understand the theory part. So tomorrow's assignment will be based on series RL circuit. Series R, or sometimes we call it as LR. On this concept, you go the all on stage, your doubts, next part of the chapter. Is that clear?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Any other doubt from today's class?
No, sir.
Okay. Just give me a minute.